What you're going to find out, parents and players, as we get down to these very competitive tournaments, is that pitching wins games. In fact, all the way up to the professional ranks of baseball, and there are dozens of levels between where we are and where they are. Every level, pitching wins games. It is not my impression from coaching young people that pitching is about throwing harder. We will be teaching this season a much smarter approach. Doesn't mean we don't want them to throw hard and have velocity. What it means is a smarter approach is a better pitching plan. So we have a smart approach. We have a pitching plan. It's specifically designed to help pitchers learn certain aspects of the game at this level. Guys that have been in the program before have been learning it sequentially. So this year, what they're going to learn is going to be the next step in a plan they've been learning for years. Guys that have not pitched before are going to get an accelerated version of some of the things we've already learned, and they are going to be right on par and cue with the other aspects of the game of pitching that we're going to be using this season. We will be specifically trying to create a pitching core, a group of pitchers, not one or two pitchers we hope can go the whole way and win the game. And here's how this pitching plan is going to start with pitchers themselves, what types of pitchers they are, what their role is as a pitcher. And we will pretty much correlate and divide the group into three realms. We will have starting pitchers, we will have relief pitchers, then we will have closing pitchers. Closing pitchers are not closers. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's start with starting pitchers. Starting pitchers will pitch 2 innings unless their pitch count gets high within those 2 innings. We are not expecting anyone to carry the team as a pitcher on their back. In fact, we know that pitchers are one person on a team of 9, and they have 7 players behind them to help them get outs. So that's what we're teaching, a pitching plan designed to get outs. And our starters aren't expected at 14 years old to pitch 6 innings and win the game. They're expected to be the first guy on the field to execute our pitching plan that day. They will pitch more innings typically than other pitchers. However, just because you're a starter doesn't mean you will finish the game. It also doesn't mean you will go past 2 innings. I'm not concerned with longevity right now. I'm concerned with quality, not quantity. Quantity is important. We will get there. Currently, what we want to know is how is your outing based on your quality, where you're locating your pitches. Did you understand the pitching plan? How well were you working with your catcher? These are things that we will specifically pay attention to all season long. The second group of pitchers, they're called relief pitchers. They will be broken into 2 categories. One will be 1-out pitcher. The other will be a 2-out pitcher. Our relief pitchers will work as a tandem, as a team. What we've been seeing in these tournaments is 4, maybe 5 inning long games. So we will have our starters go for 2 innings. Then as we are developing pitchers, guys that are working on being better pitchers, possibly becoming starters in the future of this season, they will come in for certain roles during the game. They will either pitch for 1 out or 2 outs. It is also quite possible that a relief pitcher could pitch an entire inning. But that would be the maximum that that pitcher would go throughout the course of a game. Again, bearing pitch count. I don't have a specific pitch count for each pitcher because every pitcher is different. But I will understand these pitchers through our practices and our games enough to know what their pitch count should and shouldn't be and pull them from a game if the point of possible injury or fatigue is going to be too much. With that said, our third type of pitcher is our closing pitcher. Notice how I didn't say closer, because our closing pitcher just happens to be the last pitcher that will pitch in that game. And our closing pitchers tend to be starting pitchers because it's possible that they would go in the 4th inning and have to pitch through the 5th inning because sometimes we manage to have that many games. So our closing pitchers and our starting pitchers are usually the same group of players, and our relief pitchers are pitchers who are pitching in our games and working towards becoming closing and starting pitchers. So we are constantly developing our own talent. We're constantly working within to find guys to fit roles to get outs, because what we know is pitching is not necessarily who's got the greatest fastball, the most velocity, and the greatest breaking ball. It's really about how you produce outs. And when you produce outs as a part of a role in a pitching plan, and you're good at that, you pitch. That's the way it is with me. So, I mean, the goal for me is to have 4 to 5 pitchers per game. That is very different from what you're going to see from many other coaches. But however, I have been developing a pitching staff for years now with a lot of these players. And on that pitching staff is plenty of guys that have gone through this process and managed to get themselves through hard work and understanding of the pitching plan from a one-out guy to a starter. And that's the way it's going to work. Another part of our pitching plan that's very important to us is game day bullpens. We do run a legitimate bullpen process. Players, you will not play defense the inning before you're going to pitch. You will always know if you're pitching that day because we use a pitching plan, and we will tell you. You will know what inning you're going to pitch in most cases. So you will be getting prepared the inning prior to your outing in the bullpen with a legitimate catcher working on the pitching plan and preparing to go in and execute your role as a pitcher that day for our team. Okay, let's talk about the defensive plan. This is a very big topic. So we're not going to actually talk specifics here or any types of details, but you need to know as a player and a parent that we teach defense. We understand that getting outs is how you win games, and it's the team that gets the outs the fastest that manages to win the games. So right along with pitching goes defense. We have a defensive playbook. Currently, there are several of those plays posted on our website, and there are quizzes to those plays also posted to our website. Our Coach Ty, our very own Coach Ty, is going to be allowing you to take your time to learn the defensive playbook through the PDF files on our website and take a small quiz and send it to him so that he can see your understanding of our defensive playbook without us taking 30-40 minutes at every practice to discuss 1 or maybe 2 plays. And I'm talking about very simple things. Understanding if there's a runner on first base, less than 2 outs, and a ball is hit to the right field player, the right fielder, on the ground, and it's clearly a hit, where does the right fielder go with the ball? Now, there's a million places you could go with the ball. In fact, there are tons of schools of thought. And dads and moms and players and coaches from the past all have ideas that might get into your head about where you should go with that ball. But what we understand is if everyone on the team knows where you're going to go with the ball as the right fielder, our chances of successfully creating outs are higher. So although, as I said earlier in this video, we don't have a perfect plan, but we do have a plan. So it's really important, folks, especially players, that you take those defensive plays seriously and understand what your teammates and your coaches expect that you're going to do under certain circumstances in certain situations so we can have a higher success rate at creating outs as a defensive team. So what's going to happen for you to know it's your time to look at a certain play is the website will notify you what plays we want you to look at. You will answer the correlating quiz. All that information is found right on the home page under Files and Documents. You go and open the PDF file. It says runner at first, less than 2 outs, ball to the outfield. You open that file. You look at that play. It's explained on the side what each player is doing. It's what each player is doing. If you're not the right fielder, don't assume you don't need to know this information. Every player on the field has something to do during every play. You're all expected to know what the plays are, and it's not like football where if you miss your assignment, hopefully somebody can cover for you. If you miss your assignment, there's a very good chance the ball goes into Never Never Land and the other team gains bases or scores runs. Neither are very good. So you'll get a notification from the website that you're to look at this play, answer this quiz, and you will email it back accordingly, most likely to Coach Ty. And what will happen from there is you're not graded and you're not going to fail. We're going to understand what you understand. That helps us coach you better. So take the plan and the process seriously, and the results will come from this approach. You'll be a happy ball player.